Welcome to everyone joining us. My name is Amy Sessions and I'm the editor and associate publisher of Emirates Woman. In our new series, In Discussion With, we'll be joined by the industry's leading experts, incredible women of influence, and the global luxury brands who inspire us. Today's guest is Ola Farahat, our cover star for May, the Mindfulness issue. Welcome, Ola. Hi, Ola. How lovely of you to join us.
Thank you for having me.
We had to discuss with you, because obviously you are a cover star for May, the mindfulness issue, and we shot you for this issue in Christina Fidorskaya. It was a pleasure for me to be at the shoot. It was so great to have you on the cover. You've done covers before. Was your first one alone?
No, this is, I think, my third one alone.
And did you also have an interview in the other issues?
One of them, yes, and the other one, no interview. Just like a bunch of really cool shots, and we did it with a brand. So yeah,
it was super interesting interviewing you because we hadn't met before we did the shoot together, and I found it super interesting that you had also studied and that you had already had an MBA. How did you end up doing what you're doing now?
My family's all in business, and my dad has like a consulting company, and my brother's also an MBA. So I come from a very like entrepreneurial background, and I always thought I would just have a desk job in like a trading company and then I think one day while I was at work, my Instagram was public like 6 or 7 years ago, and I always loved fashion, and I would just kind of share my looks super casually. And my followers started growing, and one day while I was at work, I got like an email for a brand partnership, and they put the budget down, and it was like so much more than my monthly salary. And I was like, is this a joke? And then I ended up actually doing the partnership, and shortly after it just kept happening. So I quit my job and thought, I really love fashion and I love this stuff. Why not just like try and put an effort and actually pursue it?
It's so amazing that it happened organically like that, because I think some people, they really, they try to build it in a certain way, and there's so much strategy there, and it's great to have strategy, but I love the fact that it happened naturally for you from something that you actually love. And I think that you can see that because when you look at your following, they are super engaged with you. And I think that's because you understand your audience so well. Do you feel like your audience is a wide breadth of people? Or is it quite a niche kind of age range?
It's definitely a niche. I would say a lot of the people who follow me are women, like young women, married women, women who love fashion and beauty, women who really want to see that, They want to follow that mostly.
So they like the involvement of your lifestyle. For example, they love to see you and your husband together, not just the fashion, but the whole lifestyle.
I mean, I figured out that people do love the family stuff because I would just post it by chance and people would like really engage and like it. So I try to do it from time to time as much as I can.
I also like it, and I think it's fun when you're kind of just scrolling to dip into it, especially when you've met that person. I now feel like we know each other, so I'm following you, and I'm seeing, she's having, she's breaking her fast, and she's with her grandfather. Like, it's nice. You sort of
do it. Yeah.
Especially in this during this time. How have you found like doing this, having this role, doing this job during this time? Have you found, like, I was watching, for example, another influencer from the UK. She has quite a large following, and she was saying that she has enjoyed being based at home, that she has found so many areas at home to do content. She said it was nice for her to have a break. I don't know whether you feel the same way.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. And I think now it's more important to kind of show people who you are, because before we're also busy like going to Fashion Week, and there was so much content where like you would be at an event. So it was easy to kind of just capture content. But now I feel like I have to be more creative, and I have to show people who I am, because there's not much else to show.
I think it's very true. And that's why I think for us, we wanted to have you on the cover. I mentioned to you before, it's super important for Emirates Women to be kind of focusing on intelligent women who are also in this sphere. and that there was so much to you. I mean, you mentioned that you have a family, for example, that are all quite entrepreneurial and they're in business. Do you feel like you have had any mentors who have given you pointers, or that you can go to within not necessarily within your industry, but within your career, basically, so far?
Yeah, 100%. My brother and my father have been my mentors from the start. Like ever since I got my first job and ever since I opened my first company, I've had so much help. I opened my first company when I was fairly young, like I was in my early 20s. So I needed the advice. And then, you know, when you're young and you're on social media, sometimes you kind of need people to give you advice about what to say and what not to say. There's so many mistakes that we can do because it's so raw and you have no training. So, I mean, a lot of times my dad would help me write emails to my client, teach me how to negotiate when I was like so much younger. I'd never spoken to anyone or emailed anyone.
I didn't know you opened your business so young. That was amazing. Was it completely different to what you're doing now?
Yeah, it's very different. We have like 40 employees now. We have over 700 designs on Onalooks. It is, it's like an online portal for fast fashion. It just, and I co-design a lot of the stuff. So it's been there for like 5 years now and we've been gradually growing.
That's amazing. Fantastic. And how have you found the clients in that sense? So obviously you have a following on social media. Is it a different kind of client for your other business, do you think? Sometimes,
yes. I think there are like younger clients. Actually, no, it's a mix. It's a mix of people who follow me, I think, and follow girls who are similar to me, who want to be able to buy the things that we wear in an affordable way, you know.
Mm-hmm. I feel like when we were talking on set, when we were doing the shoot for the cover, we were saying that we were easily getting on because we were specific types of people. And that I think that we are very happy for everybody to win and we'll support each other and other people to do so. So for me, that's really important. Have you ever, so far in what you're doing, because you're young, obviously, and successful, sometimes that's difficult, I think, for other people. Have you ever had a situation where you've had negative feedback that you've had to deal with, or has it all been quite positive so far?
I mean, yeah, for sure. When you're putting yourself out there and there's like a million people watching you, there's going to be a lot of love and some hate. I think early on, I kind of struggled with sometimes being in meetings and kind of getting profiled as like, oh, hey, she's just, I don't know, like an internet social media girl who does TikToks. And I don't know, like a lot of times I would feel like people kind of underestimate you or try to profile you and just put you in that category. And I don't really talk about my past or my work or my business or how successful it's been. I don't really talk about it much. And I think a lot of people don't know. So they just assume like, oh, hey, you like to take pictures? Great. Like, good job. Is that your talent? So that's happened a few times.
But I think it's nice to be the way around that you are, where it's a nice surprise that there's so much depth because you can go beyond those images. But just talking about the images, do you feel like that gives you more flexibility to not have to have one particular look? Because I feel like if you have a younger audience, they're also growing, changing, and then you can also do the same. Whereas I feel like sometimes when you have maybe a slightly older readership, that they kind of by that point know what suits them or know what their taste is. And so they tend to stick to one thing more often than not with slight variations. So do you feel like you don't have to adhere to very strict guidelines, for example, where I see you trying lots of fun things and doing different stuff, and your looks, for example, can be completely different. So one could be like quite sporty, one could be quite feminine.
They definitely inspire me a lot. My people who follow me inspire me so much because they keep me young and like, I don't know, they tag me in their TikToks and sometimes I'm like, why don't I just do a TikTok? I'm not that old. Why am I, and then like, And then you just, because like there's a lot of really young people on TikTok and these platforms doing dances and stuff, and they're literally like 12 or 14 years old, but they inspire you to kind of just tap into that part of you and not take yourself so seriously. And just, yeah, they inspire you to be yourself and to just switch on the camera and just do whatever, you know?
And to just basically have fun with it. I think that's also
Yeah.
good. Sometimes I always feel like when you're doing a shoot, for example, sometimes the best shots are a happy accident where you're trying something fun or someone's laughing, or so I think it's good to do this and it's good to change it up.
We had a lot of those shots when we did the cover, I think. Like we just really in the moment, yeah.
We did. And I think the ones that everyone will see in the magazine are kind of, I would say, like the elegant side of you, and also reflect like the elegant side of the brand of Kristina Veloskaya. But we would love to share, of course, later on the other images, because it's a slightly different side and it's a very fun side. And I was amazed that you were kind of up for trying these things. So it was so nice. I wanted to ask you, like, when you do something like that, and obviously you look amazing in all your shots, you're young, so your skin is still great, but you must get sent a lot of things to try. Do you have a particular skincare routine? How do you take care of yourself? Because obviously we're all at home at the moment. I don't know whether you're investing more time in this or you're quite low maintenance. Like, I think people will be really interested to hear some of your kind of advice actually on this.
I think a lot of people do think that I'm super high maintenance. I do the least. I do very little. I try and stay healthy. Like, I work out, I juice. I have to have my green juice, but
Every day.
Yeah, I try and not do so much. Not because I don't know why. I get carried away with work. But yeah, like apart from juicing, keeping my skin clean, meditating, doing more of that stuff. Like, I feel like when I feel good, I look better.
Meditating is something that I struggle with. I would like to be better at it, and I'm trying to learn how to do it, but I find it very difficult. Did you get it immediately?
No, I think I had to go through a lot of hardships, and I had to meditate to get over a lot. So
Okay.
like I started being on social media 6 or 7 years ago, and I was much younger. So meditation helped me get through so much. Like, sometimes I would get so upset if like a brand that I loved so much just didn't want to work with me. And as someone super young who's starting out, it kind of makes you question yourself. So when I started meditating, I learned to love myself more. I learned to be myself. And I think that helped me get by. And then I started getting better at meditating because I found that it made me feel better.
For someone who, like me, who's starting and trying on that journey to get better at it, do you feel like everyone who's doing that has to find the right time of day, or is it not really about the time of day, but just practicing to get better? Because I find it very in the morning. Some of my friends, they do it in the morning, and I'm kind of raring to go in the morning and wanting to get into the emails and wanting to do it. And I find it super difficult before bed.
For me, it depends what I'm going through. So sometimes I do it every single day. Sometimes I don't do it for like a week. I try my best to stay consistent. I think before bed, I do it more. I kind of try and clear my mind because I see so much on my phone. I talk to so many people. I'm traveling. I'm at so many shows at Fashion Week and stuff. So at the end of the day, I try to just like kind of recenter.
Do you use any apps? Because I know Headspace. Or do you just do it yourself now?
I'm actually developing a meditation app. I haven't really spoken about it at all, but I'm in like the first stages of doing that, and it's it's really exciting. So I just use YouTube.
Okay, perfect. Well, we love an exclusive here, so you have to let us know. Tell everybody about it when you launch it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna let you guys know. For now, like, so many little things are still kind of like a secret, but I'm so happy because I always believed that it's important to inspire people, but it's also with fashion and stuff. But I also kind of want to do my part where I add value, or at least I teach my younger audience something that they can be like, okay, this is what I took out of following this girl, you know? I benefited with this.
It's really interesting that you say that, and that you talk about feeling like you look better when you're taking care of yourself. The next issue that is for June is actually, and it will be out soon, is basically the beauty issue. And what I thought was super interesting, and as you know, like the editorial team, we sit and discuss what we want to focus on and what we want to do. Of course, we have interviews with some makeup brands. We have an amazing makeup brand cover. But what's super interesting is that there's so much in that issue that is focusing on beauty from eating the right food. So beauty from inside out, in a kind of food an article on that. And taking care of yourself. And I think we're singing kind of from the same hymn sheet, that I believe in making the best of what you have. And we did an interview with Rosie Huntington Whiteley, and she was also saying the same, is that her mother taught her to make the best of what she was given, not to cover it up. And I think that's what we're saying. And I think the mind is so connected to the body, actually. It's super interesting. And the food that you put in and everything. So it's very interesting for me to hear you say that, because I think from your images, people wouldn't know that you have this necessarily. They just see you looking great in a picture. And I think it's so important that you're also so balanced. I found you so down to earth when we met. I couldn't believe it. And I was thinking, how is this person like this when they have so many people following them? But it's so nice.
Thank you. I don't know what to say, but you guys were amazing. And you know, it's amazing. Like sometimes you just connect with certain people, and you do like interviews with certain people that you kind of connect with. I'm sure you've experienced that so much. And then there's sometimes the connection just doesn't happen. So like you said, it's energy is a big thing. How you feel is a big thing. I can't wait to read the June issue, because I love this topic so much.
I love that kind of quote where they say, energy is your currency. And I really believe that. I just wanted to kind of close by asking you, like you achieved so much, you're doing so many things. Like what's on the list for you now that you have your app for your meditation, and what would you love to achieve, either personally or professionally in the future? Or what advice would you give maybe to a young audience watching this? And if you were in that audience, what would you like to say to yourself? Whether things that you worried about when you were younger that haven't materialized, or did you think a certain way and that's changed?
I think what I'm seeing in the social media space, and it's kind of something that I went through, is that there's a lot of talents that, you know, start the social media journey and they just want everything now. They want to work with the biggest brands. They want to meet the top guys. They want to get into the best shows. And I think with consistency and, like I said, adding value or having a love or passion for beauty or fashion or whatever you're communicating, I just think slow and steady and consistent really wins the race. If I could give anyone aspiring to do this advice, is just believe in yourself and stay consistent and do what you want to do, not what, you know, post what you believe in, not what people want to see. Be yourself, stay consistent. Like, don't take the easy way out. You know, you see so much on social media of like unauthentic followers or unauthentic likes, because you can buy that stuff now. But I think at the end of the day, like there's no need to go down that route. If you believe in yourself and you're consistent and there's a message and you're following a niche, then just stay at it. Even if you have like 500 followers, they're still followers, you know, it's still a success. So just stay at it, do it the right way, and believe in yourself.
I couldn't agree more. And for me, it's the same way that I always approach building a brand, is that I really believe in quality over quantity, and I believe in doing things properly, because you will find those people. And if you can engage with the people that want that quality, everybody else will also be interested, because they're the hard ones to please. So I think it's amazing advice. Thank Ola, thank you so much for being our cover star. It's really been a pleasure to have you. It will be a joy to work with you again on some events when we're able to do so.
Yeah.
For being with us as part of our In Discussion With. It's so lovely to talk to you always, and keep us updated, please, on your app.
I will. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Amy. Can't wait for the June issue. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.